Hi, this is Ginny Prosser, creative partner with Kiwi Lane. Tonight I'm going to be going over some tips and tricks that I use to create my Kiwi Lane two-page layouts. I've been posting pictures on the community, and I've had lots of people and lots of requests to show how I come up with the detail and the three-dimensional reality of my projects. So I'm going to flip this camera around and show you what we're going to be going over in the video. So these are the items that I'm going to be demoing. The sunflower, which has two shades of ink used on it and a pen, and liquid pearls. The sun, which has the same products used on it, maybe highlighted with a little white pen also. Cute little hummingbird, which is an a la carte. The sun was an a la carte also. A flower, and I'm going to show you how I make the center of my flowers. Over here is another flower, just done in a plain cardstock, rather the other one was a small print. Here's the vine that we got in the Kiwi Lane kit this month, and then a feather. Now the feather I used with the brown tones, and you can get this same effect with a maple or oak leaf or anything like that. So the video that follows will show you how I made these items. And thank you for joining me. Bye now. This is my first attempt at a video, so you'll have to bear with me. I'm going to show you the products that I use. I'll try to give you as much information as possible where you can find these projects. And that's not saying that you have to go out and buy them. It's just I want you to have the availability and the information of where they are available. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a product called Distressed Inks, and it's by Ranger. And I buy them in the small little handheld ones, not the larger ones. Now I've had these for 2 years, and they still have not had to be re-inked, but you can buy a refill to be able to put a few extra drops to keep them wet, but I haven't had to, and I use them every single day. So I use these with the daubers that Kiwi Lane sells, the little finger daubers. So all I do is put it on my finger, press on it, and ink it. Now, some of you probably are used to inking with just going a thin line around the outside, maybe to hide your pencil line. But when I do it like I'm coloring. I want the color to be on the sunflower. The project, I'm going to show you what this looks like before. And here's my after. So this is what I'm creating right now. I'm going to reproduce that sunflower. I'm going to go around the edges. The more you put on, the better. It doesn't have to. I didn't even erase my pencil line. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. Depends on how good a cutting job I've done. I hope you can see this. Okay. Now these Distress inks, they're by Tim Holtz, but they're put out by Ranger, manufactured by Ranger. And you can get them at Amazon. You can get them at scrapbook.com and probably any scrapbook store that might still be open in your local area. I'm going to give you some pricing on them. I found them on Amazon there's 4 in a set for $11.39, and on Scrapbook.com they were $11.16, so very comparable. And when I do these, I'm going to point out something. When I'm in between, I try to keep my dauber in the lid, so I know that this goes with fossiled amber. And if you ever get confused and you get your lids mixed up, on the very bottom of this, it says fossiled amber. So we know that that lid and that container go together. Okay, so first I got that one done. Now I'm going to work on this one. Now, there's probably, and I'm not sure because I haven't followed, because I have a lot of the colors, how many sets he has now. Tim Holtz brings them out all the time. He probably has 15 or 17 or something like that sets. I just added up. I have 36 different colors. There's 4 in a set. So you can figure that out with your math. And some of them I've used a great deal. They're my favorite colors, like all of us have our favorite tools and whatever. And some of them I might not have touched or hardly touched. Okay, so there's that color. Put my lid on. Now, you're probably wondering how I keep all these together. Well, Tim also makes a box. Let me show you this. Whoops, sorry about that. It's a tin box with a clear top so you can see what colors you have in each one. These boxes are available also at Amazon. And the box is, let's see here, tin box is at Amazon. It holds 12 and it's $10.16. And at Scrapbook.com it was $7.59. So I think you just have to shop around. Oh, I've seen them at Michael's and Joann's too. They also carry the inks. So you can see this way I have them organized by colors. This one here is my brown. And then I have a green one and a pink one and a blue one. So that was that color. That was the amber. Now I'm going to do Rusty Hinge. And that's how I've gotten the brown tone around the edges here. I'm hoping I remembered to cut the center of my sunflower. I don't see it right now. I'll have to check that out. So then what I do is I lightly go around the edge. I don't want to cover up all my amber, but I want to give it another color. So you can see it goes quite quickly. And this does not, when you use the daubers, it's really nice because it doesn't dirty your hands up so you don't get it all over your artwork. And it dries almost instantly so you don't get it all over yourself. Now, sometimes I'll do it this way, you can see, but most of the time I hold it up when I'm doing it so that I can get a good edge on it and not waste the ink on the piece of paper. The only reason I put the piece of paper there is so it would show up real well, and I'm hoping it is showing up well. Okay, so we've got that done. So there is our sunflower. Now you'll notice there's some lines around here. I use these gel pens. These I bought at Hobby Lobby for $6.99. There's 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 10 in a set. I have found that this primary set has been mostly all I've needed. I haven't gone back to see if they have another set. This was the only one they had available the other day. But I had some older gel pens that I've been using for a couple of years, and some of them were getting low, so I grabbed this set. So the one that I'm going to use to do the outline is from my old set. It's kind of a rusty color. Now, all I do is just, and you don't have to be perfect. I mean, it's a sunflower. It doesn't grow perfect. I just go like this. Even if I go out of the line, it's okay. I'd keep an eye on how far down the gel goes so that you don't run out of your favorite one, that you would order a new one. But these last a very long time. You don't necessarily have to use a color. I use a lot and outline with black also. And I just buy a roller, black roller pen. I've even bought them just at the dollar store to outline my pieces. But this is what brings in the 3-dimensional. When you get this done, you'll see how different it looks than when you just cut it out. I'm not saying that everybody has to chalk or ink all their pieces or have to go around the outside, but I'm just giving these hints and this demonstration because, like I said, a lot of the fellow crafters, creative partners, and fellow shoppers on Kiwi Lane kept inquiring as how I do it. At the end of this video, when it's posted, if you want more information, you can contact me on Kiwi Lane on the community and reach out to me, and I'll answer any questions you might have about supplies or anything like that. I'd be happy to answer anybody's questions. This is not a live video. It's going to be a YouTube video, so I won't be able to possibly see comments. Like I said, this is the first time I've done this, so I'm really not sure how it works. Okay, so now to even make it look more 3-dimensional, I'm going to pop it. I'm not going to leave it just flat like that. So when I say pop it, I use a foam square. These foam squares I buy, let me see if I can get one out for you. You can buy them at Joann's, at Michael's, Scrapbook.com again, and Amazon has them. Again, I looked up the prices. Let's see here for the squares. The 1/2 inch, the ones that I'm using here, they're about $2.65 at Scrapbook.com, but I bought 10 of them for $18 at Amazon because I use them so much. And there's 2 sizes. There's the 1/2 inch and the 1/4 inch, and they both run about the same. So that's what I use, is these 3D foam dots. So I just put it on the back, peel it off, and do like this. Okay, now I wasn't quite prepared. I thought I was. Let me get a piece of brown paper out of my scrap pile, which I always have close at hand. The reason I want to do this and finish this one up is I want to show you how I use the next product. I'm making this a little bit smaller, since I didn't take a note as to, okay, this should work. Yep, that'll work. Okay. So this time, again, you always want to use an ink that is darker than what you're distressing or highlighting. So since this is a dark brown, I'm not going to use brown. I'm going to use black soot. so that it'll show a little bit. So that I can see it. Okay? Now, something else you're going to notice is I use a white glue that dries clear. I don't use adhesives on a roller or anything like that. When I learned how to scrapbook in the scrapbook store that I scrapbook out of, she used this particular glue, and since I do a lot of paper piecing, and I glue a lot of small pieces, I find that the roller, and you can use this on the back of your pictures, you can use it on everything. It's acid-free. It's called Glue Base It by Roxanne. It's available also at scrapbook.com, but I buy mine from Amazon. All these things I will list with a picture of the items that we complete on the community after my video has been shown. Okay? So it dries instantly. That's how quick it dries. So the next tool that I use are called liquid pearls. Now there's two different brands. The first brand that came out that was available everywhere was called liquid pearls. But then another company called Nuvo, N-U-V-O, came out with their crystal. It says liquid pearls, and this is dark, and it's a dimensional pearlescent paint. Now, this does not dry instantly. What it does is it makes what looks like a little pearl. And these can be put on like a wax paper or something, and then after they dry, popped off, and you can use them that way. But I've never done that. I've always just used them like this. They're very three-dimensional, and they dry hard. But when you do this, you have to train yourself, and remember that after you put your liquid pearls on, you take your piece and you set it aside somewhere where you're not going to set something on top of it or smudge it, because it needs to dry probably an hour to 2 hours. Overnight is the best. Okay. So in a few minutes, I'll see if I can find this other piece of paper I had that showed, I use brown here. Now, when you do this, you just squeeze a little and pull up. Touch your paper, squeeze, pull up. The more you squeeze, the more comes out, the bigger your dots. If you want tiny little dots, just squeeze a little. It makes kind of a little point. Don't try to smash the point down. Gravity pulls that point down, and it makes it flat. So now I'm just going to go like so, and this is going to make this look like a sunflower. I got one that's a little wonky. Now, if you do make a mistake, let me tell you, if you do make a mistake on it, leave it be. Let it dry, and you can pop it off afterwards and then redo it if you have to. Don't try to remove it while it's wet. But I have this tool. I call it a piercing tool. It's a pointed metal tool, and that's what you would use, or you could use a straight pin, the edge of your scissors, whatever, to pop it off. So there's our sunflower. Okay, three-dimensional. Now, one thing I didn't do that I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back in that rusty hinge that I used around the edge. This time, let me put this here. I'm going to take the edge of the dauber. and get ink on it, okay? Not the flat part like this, the edge. And you go like so. You see how I've done it there. Again, there's no right or wrong to this. I should have done this before I glued it down, but that doesn't matter. I can do it now, but it would have been easier to do it before. So this is side. If you did it this way, it'd color the whole thing. You just want a little highlight in the center. Now, I think that looks like a sunflower. You may think it doesn't. Any flower will work. This is the leaf. Now, I did the leaf the same way. I picked a darker green. There's before and after. Hope you can see that. Now let me put a few of my inks away before I get them mixed up here. Oh, I was going to show you one other thing. This is the case I keep my daubers in, okay? It's a plastic box, and it's made just for this. You can see the colors through it. It's my understanding that you can go on to the manufacturer when you get the case, and you can go on to their website and print off a sheet that can fit in here with little squares, and then you can write what color. But after you've used them enough, you know what color you're using. So my daubers stay in this case. That's available also on Amazon. Let me see here. It holds, the dauber box holds 40 daubers. On scrapbook.com, it's $8.99, and Amazon, it's $6.99. I find that you can't beat buying stuff on Amazon. If you're a Prime member, then, you know, you get your shipping free. This is called Pine Needle. I'm going to take this. Now, I'm not going to do all of it for you because we'll be here all night, but again, you want to get it on there. You don't want to just go around the edge like this. That may have been how you learned how to highlight. I distress it and give it some dimension. Then all I do, again, remember I showed you using the side, ink the side. I don't even draw a line. This one I used a green highlight pen on. You can see it's iridescent pen. But this time, just to show you the difference, if I did a black pen, it works the same way, and it just gives it a different look. I could also, if I wanted to, go down. The thing about the black pen is it kind of melts into the grain of the paper. And this is just, you know, cardstock. If you thought you didn't like it, you can always go over it a little if you want it less subdued. There you go. So, with glitter, without. Now, we have to be careful of this because this guy's wet, so I'm going to move him before he gets ruined. And I'm going to do the next little project. This one's a very simple one, but what a difference it makes. You're going to do summertime, and you're going to do water, and you're going to do sunshine, different things like that on your paper. You can see here, I used the liquid pearl. I highlighted it. Again, I'm going to use, this time, a different color. Instead of the amber, I'm going to use one that's called mustard seed. It's just a little brighter. Get some of this stuff out of the area here. Go around it a lot. This is the sun, so we want quite a bit. Oops, I didn't even have that in the camera, did I? We want quite a bit. Okay. Now, because I'm using a slanted board here, it's hard for me to ink and let you see the ink pad, but all I'm doing is daub in like this. Really get your color, get it around the edges. Okay, done. In that set I showed you with the glitter pins, where did I put them? Just a minute. I've set down my glitter pins somewhere. There they are. Too big a work area. Okay, so in this set is a nice yellow. There is also an orange that I could have used on the outline of instead of the rust on this. That would have worked well too. And there was a green that we could have used on the leaf, which I probably did on the other one. Oh, let's stop a second. I want to use, besides the yellow, I want to give it a little bit more punch. So I'm going to pull out the orange. Spice Marmalade. I'm going to get out my orange dauber. And I'm going to put some on there. And let's just highlight it a little. That's what I did around here. Not a lot, just a titch here and there. That's what I call it. The sun, when it's really hot, you know, has that orange glow to it. So we'll put just a little. You can use as many colors as you want. The more, the merrier. Okay. See, now that looks like that one. And I'm falling off here. And here I'm going to do it just a little more. Okay. Let's glue it down. You could use your runner. I'm going to use my glue. You can see this takes very little glue. There's my sun. Now I would take my pen and go around. Now I'm not going to go all the way around. You don't need to see me do the whole thing because you've seen me do the sunflower. I'm just going to do the sun part here. Well, I kind of got that. I'll show you one thing about this glue. If it dries really quickly, and that's the problem with it, but your stuff never comes off. But you can relocate it if you do it real quickly. I didn't like the way that was sitting on there. There we go. So let's finish going around the edge. Okay, so they look alike. I'm going to take the liquid pearl and and it's called Buttercup. This just gives it, like I said, just another dimension, and I'm just going to put a couple there. If you wanted to, in another area, you could add some more. Okay. Now you'll notice I also have a little bit of white here. I use a white gel roll pen. I should have done it again before I put my... And this is just something that I've done over the years. I picked it up when I used to sell it on eBay. The gals all did it, so I got in the habit of doing it. So there's our little sun. It looks just like that one. Okay, now I'm just going to show you. This is what started the whole thing, is I did the vine. That was in the March Kiwi Club kit. And I made flowers. Like so. And put on it. And I had some embellishments that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. I put those in the center. There's my liquid gel. There's my shading. You can see the lines on this one. How I used a darker pen. Okay. Now, everybody asked me how I made the center of... Let me see where I moved it to. Oh, great. Give me a second here. I had a candle sitting here with a punch. Oh, here it is. I thought I was so organized. Okay. It's a punch that I bought on Amazon. It's a 1-inch flower punch. And I use it a lot with my Kiwi Lane flowers. It's an easy punch. It has a catch on the bottom that holds your flowers. And what I normally do is take that piercing tool that I told you about, but you can use a pencil or any other small device that you have that's similar to this. And what I do is I put it here and bend it over. Let me get closer into the camera here. Here we go. Like so. So I put it here and roll it. Put it here and roll it. And I do it on both of them. I've gone over my 30 minutes. They said don't make the video much longer than 30 minutes. You guys will get bored. Okay. Now, here's where my white glue comes in so good, because you can just put a little dab. And I line these up the opposite. So if there's a petal here, I put the other petal, what do you call that? Just put it off center. Hold it for a few minutes. It doesn't dry instantly. And you can see this is the same as that one, except what? There's no color on the outside. So I'm going to take pickled raspberry. Oh, it matches my nail, huh? I'm going to go get me a dauber. Maybe this one with some pink on it. That would be this one. Get some pink. And just lightly go around the outside. And there you go. Looks just like that. You can put a button in the center. You could, oh, look at here. Let me show you something. I have some, this is called watermelon. Let me see if this is, if these get plugged, whoop, nope, it's ready to rock and roll. I could do this. If it gets plugged, you can put a straight pin down there. I've never even thought about this. Look at that. Now, I've created something that I've never even done before for this video. So you can use anything you want in the center. Pearls, liquid pearl, these little things like this. These are self-adhesive. Again, make sure you put it somewhere that it's not going to get sat on for the next couple of hours. Okay, this one here is the feather. It's a la carte feather, one of the templates with Kiwi Lane. And I did brown, a light brown. And again, I used that, what was it called? The rust-colored one. I put it somewhere. The first one I used, Rusty Hinge. And so I did the brown, then the Rusty Hinge, and then I use a iridescent pin around the outside, but you could do orange also. Now this is a feather, but you could see you could do a maple leaf, an oak leaf, and the more color, the better. When I do it, this is what this, I want to show you what this started out as. This is the before and after. That's the same, that's what the base is on that. Just by applying, let me see here. That's spice marmalade. See, I told you not to mix them up, but because I'm doing this little demo, it's getting me. Okay, we're going to try this. Where's my brown? Where's my blue? Oh, I found it. Here's a Rusty Hinge. Oh, I found it. Again, I'm just going to show you a little. We don't want to be on here all night long. You can see that that's the beginning of that. And then after I did the orange, I did a light brown. And then, what did I explain to you? Take the pad. Now, I used to use years ago the color box chalks, but the sponges wore out. Something terrible. This is how I did this. This simple. Isn't that easy? Nope. Almost ran over my little... Okay, just the last one I'm going to show you is this little guy here. My hummingbird. Everybody oohed and awed over him. I was so pleased when I posted, when I got the March kit, because it had the watering can and I knew I could use the hummingbird. And I had all these great garden pictures, so I wanted to really jump in and get going on. So I'm going to use Mermaid Lagoon. Okay. Here's what we're trying to duplicate. Go around the edges. Watch how fast this happens. Nothing to it. Of course, I've been doing this for years. I've sold on eBay for years and years, paper piecing. So you'll get used to it. It'll just come to you. Again, I'm going to apply the ink on the edge. Whoop, drop it, Jenny. Okay, there's his wing. Now, I want his belly, so I'm going to put a little bit more color on his belly. And if you wanted to, you could do a little like that on his feathers there. Let's put a little highlight there too. Like so. Oh, that's even better than the one I did before, huh? And then in this set that I showed you before from Hobby Lobby is a really pretty blue. Okay, I'm not going to go all the way around him, but you can see how easy that is. I'm going to put a couple of these in to give him some. And then to finish it off, if we were all done, on the layout I did, I also had a little ladybug. I'm going to show you that real quick. Take your liquid pearl, and there's his eye. Let's move him over here so I don't hurt him. Let me roll over here and get something. So I had these little ladybugs that I bought at Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby is my favorite store in the whole place, in the whole world. I'm there every week. These, how many were in here? Does it say? No, it doesn't say how many pieces. But you can see there's probably 25 of them or whatever. Let me take one out. I always look at them to make sure they got decent eyes and they're not odd. If this bothers me sometime that there's no black here, so I take I take just a permanent marker. I'm a detail girl, I guess, and I fill that in. So take my piercing tool again. This is hard to find. This is by Doris, but you may have something similar to it. There's a little adhesive thing on the back. Pull that off. Okay, let me see if I can get this in the camera. There he is. There she is. Now, when I put them by a flower, like so, I'm going to have her going over to our little flower. Like she's left one flower and she's going to another. And I take my black liquid pearl, just a teeny little dot. And there's my ladybug with my liquid pearls. The other brand is called Nouveau. These are called liquid pearls. Both available on Amazon and scrapbook.com. So I think I've showed you everything. I showed you the case that I keep my daubers in, showed you the liquid pearls, showed you the Ranger distressed inks, showed you the $6.99 pins. The ladybugs probably, oh, look at how much the ladybugs were for 25 of them. Can you see that? $1.99. The vine, another, I was going to show you this. This is the new vine that came, the a la carte, cut out. And I used even a paper that was two-tone. And here it is after I did my distressing. Now, what I did here to show you is I outlined here in green and here with the black pen. So you don't have to have all the colored pens. You can just use a black roller pen and it'll give you the same kind of look. Okay, well, I hope that this has been helpful and that it gives you an idea of what you can do with some inks or chalks. And don't be afraid to just jump in and try it. One thing I was going to point out to you is when you go to use your liquid pearls, when you haven't used them for a while, try them out like I did over here on the side of a piece of paper. See how it's kind of, because that's dry it on the end. If you squeeze it where you want it and it's plugged, it comes out like a little mess and it'll ruin your piece. So you want to try it somewhere else before you apply it to your flower. How I did those there? Is just like that. So I hope this has been informative. This is almost dry. This is the one that we made that I hadn't done like that before. That looks cute. I hope I didn't go too fast. Again, you can reach me on the community. My name's Ginny Prosser. I started with Kiwi back in March of 2016. I absolutely love the company, the product, the customer service. I can't say enough nice things about Susan and Debbie and Mindy and Jessica and all the crew that work there. So hope you have a nice evening, and I'm signing off now. Thank you. Bye.